Filed this one under Never Dull. Now it is President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who wants to be on the big screen. And if it works out like he hopes, his life will be featured in a documentary. According to the Los Angeles Times, a camera crew has been, quote, following Biden and filming his travails for a documentary for years. Do you hear that? Years. Following Hunter with a camera for years. It's amazing, isn't it? So who is this big pocket financing this? Hollywood lawyer and Hunter pal, Kevin Morris. The Los Angeles Times describes Morris as Hunter's friend, confidant, bankroller, and lawyer. He's also lent Hunter millions of dollars to cover his big tax debts. The Times also reporting that Morris was just out of frame when Hunter Biden gave his speech to reporters on Capitol Hill the day he was subpoenaed to testify and refused to do so. The Times reports that it was Morris whose resources had allowed President's son to stand there. The Times writes a documentary would allow Biden, the person, a father and husband, to present it without a middleman. Painting, selling his art, raising his son, and navigating everyday life as a sober adult with ongoing criminal investigations and in the crosshairs of Trump and his supporters. With the documentary, Biden and to some extent Morris could possibly get the last word. And next week, the House will be back in session, and Punchbowl News is reporting their impeachment inquiry will be closing in on interviews with two associates of the president's brother and son. Member of the House Oversight Committee, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds joins me. House Oversight, of course, is one of the three committees investigating the Biden family business deal. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta. How are you?
I'm good. So explain this to me. I realize that the impeachment inquiry is going forward, but why now? The Republicans have been sitting on this for 2 years. It's in an election year. Let the voters decide. Don't you run the risk of everyone wondering, why now? Well, let the voters decide.
Well, Greta, what's going to be happening is we've been doing our investigative work really for all of 2023. That's how deep and how cumbersome it was to untangle all of the Biden corruption scheme that was going on for the past 7 to 10 years. It took a year to go through all the documents. The White House was stonewalling us every step of the way. The Treasury Department and other agencies weren't cooperating with us in any of this. So it took time to get to the place that we are right now. It wasn't that we were sitting on it. It's that, unfortunately, in modern politics, you have a media that does not play fair. They don't want to just call balls and strikes and stay on the sidelines. They like to either persecute or cover up. And when it comes to the Bidens, they want to cover up. So House Republicans have to make a clear argument as to why we're moving forward. It took time to actually bring all the evidence forward to do that.
All right. In light of that, when will you issue a report or do something? Because if you wait until October, the so-called October supply is right before November. It's like, in terms of fair play, that the other side, in this case, Biden's, would have no opportunity to respond or to act. I mean, if you're going to do this, you really need to do it a lot swifter, just for a sense of fair play. It may be everything you say, but fundamentally, to be fair, we'd like to hear what the Biden family has to say in response.
Well, a couple things. First of all, Greta, the Biden family's had an opportunity to comment at any step along the way. All they've done is lie to the American people, led by Joe Biden and everybody else. Number two, we were prepared to depose Hunter Biden a couple of weeks ago. He decided to do a stunt for his documentary, I guess, as opposed to honoring a congressional subpoena. Something I would add, every American citizen has a responsibility and an obligation to adhere to. You don't get special treatment because you're the president's son. Those are the facts. So we're going to do our job. We're not going to speed it up or slow it down. We're not Jack Smith over here. We're not playing politics. We are going through the process of investigating this family, and we're going to continue to do that work.
It seems pretty clear to me that he's a son he's got a lot of problems. He's got a lot of weird businesses dealings. He's dealing with a lot of countries that are not our friends. He's got a lot of cash coming in. He's alleged not to pay his taxes. I've seen pictures of him holding a gun, half naked. I may have seen all that. I mean, he is not exactly your model citizen. But do you have any evidence tying that non-model citizen to bad conduct on the part of the President of the United States?
Well, and that's where our investigation is going to lead us. We already have evidence of the president of the United States taking money through his son and through his brother. That's bribery in and of itself. Now we're going to continue that. That's why we have to do the last couple of depositions. We have about 9 or 10 depositions to go. That's why there's going to be another couple of hearings, maybe 1, 2, maybe potentially 3 more hearings. But we're going to do our job. We're not going to speed it up because of politics. We're not going to slow it down because of politics. We're going to investigate debate in which, in my opinion, is the biggest scandal in the history of our country, because the person sitting in the Oval Office knowingly allowed his son and his brother to operate as unregistered foreign agents.
Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you very much, sir. And of course, we're going to follow this very closely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.